Hey everyone, Saransh from Wisdom Bites here. Continuing the discussion about stock options from the previous video, we'll talk about the differences between a call and a put option in this one. Calls and puts are the building blocks of everything that you can do with options as a trader. So it is important to understand these concepts. We will be talking about buying calls and buying puts in this video. We can also sell calls and puts and do a combination of both of those, which is mostly what I do. But for now, let us understand what call and puts are and how they work. We can go into the more advanced stuff later. Buying a call or a put is also known as a long call, as long calls or long puts. I'm going to throw in a lot of terminology so that you understand what the industry standards are, and so that whenever you hear them outside, you know what that means. Let us take a look at call options first. We did discuss this briefly in the previous video, but it is the most basic strategy where we expect the price of the stock to keep rising above the strike price that we choose. And we set an expiration date for it. So for this scenario, let's assume we'll talk about Apple stock for the remainder of the video. The stock is currently at roughly $180 at the time of recording of this video. Let us take a look at January 2023, and let's say we are going for a call with the strike price of $250. As you can see, we are paying $4.2 for this option at the time of this recording. That means our cost would be 4.2 into 100, which is $420. We are expecting that the price of Apple will be way higher than $250 by January 2023. And that way we are going to make money on this trade. Compared to buying the stock outright, we are using leverage to control 100 shares of Apple stock. We are leveraging the power of options and choosing a strike price which we think the stock will hit by January 2023. We can choose a higher strike price if we think we are more bullish on the stock. As you can see, the profit from the profit and loss diagram right over here, the maximum loss is limited to $420. That will happen if Apple is below the $250 strike price that we've chosen by January 2023. And at that point, our option would then expire worthless. The maximum profit in this case is theoretically unlimited. For every $100 the stock goes above 250, we make $100 of profit, since we are controlling 100 shares of the stock using an option. A few other things to keep in mind are time and implied volatility. If the stock reaches $250 next week, then the option price will increase significantly. That is because there is a lot of time for it to keep going beyond 250 within the next year. On the other side, time has a negative impact on the option price if the option is out of money. Since we have a set date by which we are hoping that Apple would be 250 and beyond, the price of an option keeps reducing as the expiration date comes nearer, because the time left to reach that 250 mark keeps on decreasing. Thus, the value of the option itself is decreasing. This time is called the extrinsic value of the stock, and the actual value of the stock is the intrinsic value. Similarly, if the implied volatility of a stock increases, the price of the option increases too. Implied volatility is the amount the stock moves higher or lower in either direction. And if the stock does not move much in either direction, the chances of making it higher moves are low. Therefore, the option is lower, and vice versa. Summing it all up, for a call option, we pay a premium to buy the stock at a certain price by a certain date. We are not obligated to buy the shares if the option does not move in our favor. Thus, the maximum loss is the premium that we pay for the option, and our break even would be the strike price plus the premium that we paid for the option. And if the stock crosses that amount, we keep making a profit for every cent, dollar, whatever the option goes higher than the strike price that we selected. The maximum profit is as high as the stock can go, which theoretically is unlimited, but no stock goes to infinity. Next, let us talk about puts. A put option is probably the second most basic strategy, wherein the expectation of the buyer is that the stock price will go down in the future. If we were under the impression that Apple stock will drop to, let's say, $125 by January 2023, we would buy a put option for that price. The $125 January 2023 put is currently priced at $4.30. Therefore, we would be paying $430 for buying that put. We are hoping that Apple's price will drop significantly below $125, and we would thus profit from the downward movement. Again, we are using the power of leverage to control 100 shares of stock instead of shorting the stock itself. A put option is a contract wherein the seller guarantees to buy the shares from you at that strike price. So if, let's assume Apple is at $100 at the end of January 2023, we can buy the 100 shares from the market at $100 from the market itself. And since the seller is obligated to buy the stock at $125 from us, we would have made a profit of $25 per share, which ends up being $2,500. The basics of an option, the basic underlyings of implied volatility and maximum loss stay the same. So the maximum loss in the case of a put option would be the premium that we've paid, which will be $430. If this would happen if Apple stays above the strike price that we chose, that is $125, and the maximum profit is theoretically, if the stock goes to zero, then the maximum profit would be 125 into 100, which is a lot. And trust me, Apple's not going to zero. Anyway, as with call options, we would roughly make $100 for every dollar the stock falls after reaching the strike price. So every dollar that the price reduces from $125, we'll be making $100, theoretically speaking. Concept of time and implied volatility work the same for puts as they do for calls. Since implied volatility is the tendency of the stock to move up and down in either direction, the value of option again will increase if implied volatility goes up and decrease if it goes down. And we have a finite amount of time in which we want the stock to move in our direction. So the value of a put option decreases with time as well. And that's pretty much it. Puts and calls are the building blocks for option strategies. And there are a few more terms that we need to understand before trading options. In the meantime, if you have any questions, drop a comment below or join our Discord server if you want to engage with other people doing similar things. Until then, have a good one and hope you have a good 2022 and hope you learn a lot more things along with making some money by trading options. Peace.